All right, so we've forced people to sit through our stupid or PlayStation VR commercials before. So
Yeah.
let's be front with people. This is not a commercial. This is just kind of our initial feelings on this. What did Nintendo announce in the last couple weeks?
Their newest console.
The Nintendo Switch. Oh, what
Yes.
initial impressions? What are you thinking?
I love it. I think it's awesome. I think combining their mobile and home console market was just, it needed to happen. So I think that this is the right thing to do.
Now, are they getting? Is this to say that the 3DS is gonna like be phased out and it's not gonna be? They're not gonna do that anymore? Or is
My
it or is it
understanding,
too early to say?
I think it's probably too early to say,
Okay.
but from my like what I know right now is that the mobile, or I guess like because there's Nintendo's two development groups.
Yep.
There's the guys for their home console, then there's the guys for the 3DS or
Okay.
whatever. They merged those guys last year
Oh, interesting.
into one building. So
Okay. I was
who
gonna put up.
knows?
I was gonna put it up with a disclaimer and just say like these are our opinions and we're probably making a lot of assumptions. So if you listen to this not in November of 2016 and you're like, you guys don't know what you're talking about, that's probably why, because we don't have all the
exactly.
information. So awesome. Yeah, I'm like initially I was like I kind of like the idea. I kind of like the concept, although it looks a lot. It looks gimmicky. You know, like there's the little dock. You put the gamepad into it. You pull out the controllers. You can play. It kind of looks to me almost like I know everyone's saying, "Oh, you hook them together and then you play." Like almost, it looks kind of like a Wii, where you have the two controllers on either hands. You can play here, or you can put them together, or you can go grab the gamepad and play there. It seems very gimmicky.
Yeah. And the other thing is, what the hell's the battery life gonna be on
Yeah,
these things?
yeah.
Like all this shit's wireless, and my phone can't last me a day.
Mm-hmm.
How is this thing that's supposed to be running a fucking console on the go supposed to last me all day, or a trip where the guy's on a plane?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm. Well, I mean, maybe they have battery packs or something, or like they're not thinking that far. But again, like the wireless controllers are great. But I have two. First thing, I got a PlayStation 4 last year for Christmas. The first thing I bought was a controller because I have one controller plugged in charging, one controller in my hands. I swap them all the time, right?
Yeah.
That's how you have to. So I don't know. Like I worry that it seems too gimmicky. Versus if
Yeah.
they just said, "Hey, look, the Nintendo Switch." I don't know. This is maybe I don't know. Like I said, I'm very hesitant. I honestly think the best Nintendo system was the GameCube.
You think so?
Of that generation of consoles, it was the most powerful. Did you know that? Between the GameCube, PlayStation 2, and Xbox, it was the most powerful. It was obviously smaller and the discs didn't have as much memory, but it had the fastest processing, it had some of the best like visuals, best graphics. I think that was their best system. From a technical point of view, like where you say which games look the best, so look at like a Mario Sunshine and a Resident Evil compared to what you were getting on like the PlayStation 2 or Xbox at the time.
Yeah.
And in my and again, they had the third party titles that they brought in. I don't know. I worry about you, Nintendo.
Yeah. The other thing is they showed off Skyrim,
Mhm.
which I don't care about Skyrim, but I do care that if they can kind of make a console that's a little bit more appealing to the third party developers, like the EA, Activision, all those
Yep.
guys, kind of make them more like, let's just make our consoles like the Xboxes and PlayStations, but
Yep.
on the go and a little bit more different.
Could not agree
I
with
think
you more.
I think that you kind of got something you can kind of slide into, especially if with this, I could see them easily being like, "Oh, you don't need to upgrade this. You only need to upgrade this other thing when the next generation comes." Or I hope they.
Oh,
don't
I
do
see.
that. Well, I highly doubt they won't do that, but I just feel like there's going to be a big opportunity for hardware
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be a big hardware grab. I hate that. I worked retail when the Nintendo Wii came out, and that was just a hardware freaking smorgasbord. It sucked.
Are you telling me that the Wii Action Sports Package add-ons didn't add anything to my game? You mean putting my controller into a plastic golf sleeve and playing the golf game didn't make the game better?
No, it really didn't.
But you're right. The third party, the fact that they released, and they're not just Nintendo developers, they have something like they released like these 50 developers, like the big guys, Activision. I think the only one that didn't or wasn't there was it Naughty Dog?
Yeah, but that's PlayStation.
Oh, is it PlayStation? Shoot, what? It was the people that do. What are the GTA people? What are those called?
Oh, Rockstar.
Rockstar were the only people, like the big developers that weren't associated with this. And I think other than that, but like the Skyrim. Actually, it's funny. I watched that and I was like, I want to play Skyrim. And Skyrim's coming out for the PlayStation 4, and I was like, I want to play Skyrim. I put my PlayStation 3 beside my PlayStation 4. I now play Skyrim on my PlayStation 3. It works just well. Like, I don't need to go spend $80. You almost got me. You almost got me, Bethesda. You almost got me.
That's brutal. I can't believe they're milking that game that's 4 years old now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's just and the console versions aren't as good as those. I'm not a PC gamer, but to know that you could do the mods and have so much fun with modding, that just makes those games seem so much more appealing. So yeah, again, I don't know what the Nintendo Switch is gonna bring to the market. However, it's supposed to be released in the spring. We do a little thing called taxes every year. I just signed up for about $1,000 course. I paid for it out of pocket. When it comes to the time, I will say, I have some school credits. They will say, you sure do. Here's some money back, sir. I might get like $600 back from that class. I think that'd probably be a pretty good time to invest into a Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. That plus some education, plus some RSPs contribution. It all comes back.
Yep.
And the nice thing I like about the Switch that we haven't even talked about is the two controllers.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a theory. I was brushing my teeth today, and I was thinking, like, maybe they released that retro Nintendo console with two controllers to be like, let's just see if people even mention it. And then because a lot of people were like, man, it's so sick that it comes with two controllers. Now I can just pick up and play with all my friends because it's all contained. And so instead of having to buy a second controller, it just comes with those two, I think. So I wonder if they were like, they tested it. We were like, yeah, people love getting two controllers. Oh yeah, we absolutely need to have two controller compatibility on this shit. But I don't know. I could just be grasping at straws.
Yeah, because you're right. Because the side controllers almost look like a Wiimote, right?
Yeah.
So could you just flip that on the side and then have two, and you and all of a sudden I'm playing, and like you come over and I'm like, oh hey man, you want to play Mario 3? Click, I like it.
Yeah, that's what you can do. That's what they were showing is like two people playing Mario Kart. You just bring that one thing over to somebody's house. All of a sudden now two people can race Mario Kart or whatever.
Very neat. Very neat. Again, like I said, cool gimmick. Hopefully they do it. The one thing I don't know, is it backwards compatible with the Wii U? Do we know that?
Yes. They were showing Splatoon games.
But they were Splatoons, but new Splatoon characters. Like there's a Mario Kart. There's a Mario Kart demo being shown with King Boo. King Boo isn't in Mario Kart 8 or whatever it is for the Wii U.
Oh.
Yeah. There was a couple. What is it? What's his name? The guy with the Hop-Ip. You follow that guy on YouTube?
No.
Oh shoot, what's his name? Anyways, one of the guys was kind of bringing that up. He's like, yeah, those games don't exist on the Wii U, so are these new or not? I don't know.
Who knows?
I'm also like, I'm really glad I invested in the Wii U. I'm really glad that that's not going to be a dead console in 6 months. Although I'm probably about 7 games away from owning every single game. I could play the big ones that I really want to. I could box it all up, put it away, and then in like 30 years, I'm like, here's my Wii U. Check out this great game title I have for it. $1 billion? Yup.
That's going to buy me 1 gallon of gas.
All right. I think with that, we should just get into the game.
Yep.
Introducing the next generation from Nintendo. New Super Mario World. Created especially for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. It's a bit more exciting, a bit more challenging, a bit more graphic, a bit more colorful, a bit more realistic, a bit more levels, a bit more secret, a bit more enemies, a bit more friends, a bit more sound, a bit hotter, a bit cooler, a bit weird, a bit more revolutionary, a bit more Mario, a bit more of what you want. It's 16-bit, and it's yours only if you get new Super Nintendo. Now you're playing with power, superpower.
Welcome to the Podtendo podcast, where we analyze, reminisce, and replay the glory of old Nintendo games. We can be contacted on Twitter at Podtendo Podcast, email us at podtendo@gmail.com, or check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Podtendo. I am your co-host, Mick, and I will be joined every episode by my co-host,
Tyson.
Hooray! Welcome to the month of Mario here on Podtendo.
Yes.
Feels good. I think the original... I don't know if I actually mentioned this yet. Do you know why the original reason why we were doing the month of Mario in November?
Because of mustaches?
Movember. I was like, Movember. Mustaches. Mario. I remember it. Remembrance Day. I was like, this is just a neat little package. So, there you go. And I might have ripped off some YouTubers that do Zelda month this month. So, I just kind of ripped that off. Yikes. So, that's exciting. So, but month of Mario, we play only exclusive... Well, we don't only. We play the majority of Mario titles. Gush a little bit about our little plumber, little pudgy dude. Thus far, we've looked at the movie. We've looked at Mario RPG. Are you ready for this bad boy? Because I'm really excited about this one.
I am too. This one's special.
Okay, it's going to be a lot of fun. Super Mario motherfucking World. It's big, big. The release date was August 23rd, 1991. That was 18 months after the world first saw Super Mario Bros. 3 for the NES. How Long to Beat has this game at 5.5 hours, or 3 years if you're a kid in the 90s. Actual retail price was $200 because it came packaged with the Super Nintendo upon release. That's right, this is a launch title. Current eBay price, $40 to $80. That's way more expensive than I imagined. Like, I was thinking this was like everybody and their dog had it, so it was like $10.
Yeah.
I don't know why it was so expensive. Like, maybe like working cartridges are a lot more rare than I thought.
Maybe people just like holding on to them, or everyone that collects them has to have Super Mario World.
I guess so. Yes. I made another comment somewhere. Oh, yeah. I'll get I'll get to that. Ahead of myself. Current eBay price. Fuck's sakes. eShop price, about $8 to $12. Or if you've bought it on your Wii, have all your Wii data on your Wii U, it's $2 to play it on the gamepad on the Wii U. What a great deal. Thanks, Nintendo.
Fuck's sakes.
Stupid Nintendo. Other versions. This title did make its way onto the re-release of the Super Mario All-Stars pack. So you'd get Mario 1, The Lost Levels, Super Mario Bros. 2, Super Mario Bros. 3, and Super Mario World. That's one hell of a cartridge.
Pretty sick.
Yeah. So they must have had obviously used more memory or something like that at that point to put all those titles on that one game. As well as there was a Game Boy Advanced version released in the late 90s. I think we owned it when it first came out. Like, I know I have a copy with my Game Boy Advanced collection. Do you know what the big difference between the two titles were?
No, I actually don't.
I think it's when every level had, like, you collected a dragon star, like the dragon coins. If you collected 5, you got, like, a little exclamation mark or something like that. So to get the super secret ending, you had to get all the dragon coins in every level. So
fair enough.
That's it. Let's look at some of the development details on this bad boy. Not much is known about the development of this title. And the end. It's a great sentence to start off. It was originally called Super Mario Bros. 4, and it started development on the NES. At some point Nintendo decided to move it to the Super Nintendo. I'm thinking probably because the Super Nintendo was just starting to be marketed and developed, and they're like, we're going to release this without a game. Like, we should probably figure that out.
Yeah.
Right? That 18-month, like I had mentioned earlier, was not a very long time. Like, think 18 months, like a year and a half. Imagine, like, that is modern day Call of Duty kind of thing. Like, that's how long one of those games, they wait to release another one of those games. And in the early 90s, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
So, due to the items, such as the feather, which it turns into the cape, and Yoshi, blue, or using a blue shell combo, a lot of the levels in this game had to be designed with the flight as an option. So basically this game installed you with the power of flight, and not just a raccoon suit where you can kind of fly over the level, but you actually can hover. There's a technique in this game where you can actually fly through the levels. Every single level had to be developed with that. So there was so much foresight that was put into this game's development in every single level. It's amazing, actually, when you think of it from those terms.
Pretty crazy.
Yoshi was meant to be in the original Super Mario Brothers, the original Mario Brothers, but they didn't have the assets to add him. So that is why Mario got his dinosaur counterpart in this version of the game. Not only that, but in the 1990s, everyone was dinosaur crazy.
Yeah.
We had a dinosaurs TV show. We had dinosaurs in our Mario game. We had Jurassic Park. We had, wasn't there a TV show called like Dinosaur Riders or Dinosaur Warriors or something?
Oh, probably.
Ah, shoot. What the heck was that? You know what? It's a toy. I could pull it up and show you a picture and you'd say like, oh, I fucking remember those guys. Huh. So basically the 90s were dinosaur crazy, so why shouldn't Mario have a dinosaur?
Absolutely.
I guess we should just, if we played Adventure Island, Master Higgins in that game had dinosaur friends. So why does Nintendo claim not to have the assets to put dinosaurs that you ride? Master Higgins got it. Why can't Mario? Just a thought world. Secrets were a big part of this game, but we'll get into that a little bit later. The game can be played linearly, lanolin, like sheep's wool, but any exploration is met with a reward. So it's kind of a positive feedback loop. You explore, or you go off the beaten path, you explore, you get a new secret, which causes you to want to explore more, which gives you another secret, and it just kind of continues, and you get reimbursed, and you're like, this is great. And that's how that game's kind of built. Makes sense?
Yep.
Cool. The controls. This is actually one of the bigger control sections we've ever done, so let's kind of work through our notes. And I'm going to talk a lot. I love this game. I gush. If you want to say something, by all means, like, don't hesitate to talk.
I won't.
Okay. I noticed I'm like, this and that, oh my god, and then this happened, oh, this is great.
It's a good game, man.
I would call these pretty much basic platform controls. You can run, jump, duck. They feel awesome, like they feel very fluid. Again, you're not being cheated because you're like, oh, I missed that platform and I just fell through that platform and died into that lake. Typically everything is pretty well constructed. The Fire Flower returns with the 1-up and the Power Star from other titles. You lose your bank of items that you used to have in Mario 3. So you used to be able to collect items from Mushroom Huts. That doesn't exist anymore. But you do gain a stored item for every level in the gameplay. So there was kind of like a little box at the top of the screen. And if you had a firepower and you picked up a mushroom, it would be saved. It regenerates either on when you take a hit or upon command. Like you hit select and you can drop the item down at that point. Make sense?
Yep.
Let's see, where are we? We don't see the raccoon suit, Tanuki suit, or Hammer Brothers suit return, but we do get the feather and the cape. The best power-up in gaming. Was that too bold of a statement?
Possibly a little bit, but it's pretty, like, the freedom you get once you can learn how to control it. Like, if you can kind of do the kind of bouncy thing, this game, you get a whole nother, like, level of control in this game, which is so key to mastering it 100%.
Yeah, so it's hard to learn and master, but when you do, it's a complete complete game changer. It's a power-up that requires technique and skill. Go figure. It's not just the invincibility power armor in Halo, and then all of a sudden, oh, now no one can kill me. Like, it actually involves a lot of skill. So it's kind of more like a high-end like sniper rifle in kind of a first-person shooter, where you actually have to practice a lot, and then once you do, like, you're way better at the game than everybody else just because you own those skills, and that's so cool. I love that.
Yeah.
With the cape, you can fly, you can kind of float, you can dive bomb, and you can do a little spin attack, which takes out a lot of the enemies. Again, we're just talking about the one power-up in the game, and I'm just like, so much to say on it. It's just so well thought out, you know?
Yeah.
The spin jump also starts here. So instead of just jumping up and straight and down, you can do a spin jump. You can destroy some types of enemies with it, as well as some blocks. On the world map, a level will either be yellow or red. Yellow means it has one exit. Red means it has multiple exits. Do you know what the difference between the sizes are?
No idea.
So sometimes there's like a little dot, sometimes there's a big dot. I have no idea either. Does it have something to do with, like, is it above ground or below ground?
Not sure.
Yeah.
Heck, man, I didn't even know about the red and the yellow dots.
Really? Oh. Okay, yeah, so so if you beat a level, it's yellow. That means there's one exit. You don't have to worry about finding a secret exit. The ones that are red are the ones you should go back into, because typically they will take you somewhere else on the world map. So this is actually a learning experience for you. Oh yeah, by the way, I apparently know a lot about this game. This was the reason I started using the internet and like YouTube back in the day. So I will get into that, but I digress. You can carry turtle shells, P-switches, and keys. Have you ever seen the trick where if you throw a key up in the air and have a P-switch, and you take the P-switch, catch the key as you're kind of on the way to, like, say, what's it called? Like one of the vines that you could climb, you can carry both of them up to the top of the area, like up the top of the vine with you.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
I have not.
Okay, that's one of those things that's used sometimes in Super Mario Maker, so it's basically a way to hold two items at the same time. It's kind of cheating because the game doesn't really tell you that. You just have to figure it out. So, take that for what it's worth.
Cool.
Then there is Yoshi. Hi, Yoshi! Bow, bow, bow. What's your best Yoshi?
I have no idea.
All right.
I can't. I don't. I'm like I can't get that high.
Okay. He acts as a reusable extra hit. So as you're riding on Yoshi, if you get hit, he just kind of goes, ow, and starts running around. If you can catch him again, it's like you never took the hit at all. So that's kind of nice. He can't go into ghost house or castles. But when you are on him, the music changes, and it kind of adds like an extra like little bit of bass. Like all of a sudden the music will be dun 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 dun, dun, and there'll be a little like bum 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 bum. I don't know, it's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's awesome. This game is so freaking amazing.
He can land on certain enemies, and you can use him as an extra jump to clear some obstacles. So if there's that really big pit that you're trying to clear, and you jump and you can't make it, and you're on Yoshi, you can actually jump off and send him to his death.
Yep.
You treacherous swine. Have you ever seen that meme?
Yes.
What is Yoshi? I mean, he's a dinosaur, right? But
yeah.
So in this game, he's got like a saddle, but in other games, he like goes golfing with them and like goes and plays in carts. So, are you just sending like a sentient being to his death? Is Yoshi the same? Or so is Yoshi like a one guy? Like we'd call Mick, like myself, I'd be human and I hang out with the humans, but I also come and hang out and I'm a, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, is there just one Yoshi that like plays baseball and like plays tennis, and then there's like a bunch of Yoshis? How does that work?
Well, I know that there is multiple Yoshis.
Yeah. There's different colors.
There has to be a main Yoshi.
Okay, so potentially the green one, the one you save in like the very first block, he in theory is like the canon Yoshi that is your friend. He says thank you at the end of Super Mario RPG, and he'll play tennis with you and whatnot.
And when you start the game, does he not say something when you first unlock him?
Yeah, that's the one I mean. In the very first level, you hit him. He's like,
yeah.
"Oh, thanks for saving me." Like, are we thinking that Yoshi is the main canon Yoshi? Like, you're like, "Oh, you better help save my friends," and all the rest of the guys in that game are friends.
Must be.
So at some point, you killed the Yoshi that you golf with.
Basically.
We are terrible people. Terrible pixelated people.
Fucking Mario, man. Mass murderer.
First memories of this game. This was the very first video game we ever owned. How about it? We did it. We found Nostalgia Avenue.
Yeah, it only took however many episodes.
Oh, God. So Resident Evil was 15. Movie was 16. 18 episodes. Oh, you know
Jesus.
what? We were so close to goddamn 20. We could have done like a Super Mario World extravagant. Fuck. Oh, well. We'll have to do people celebrate 20? Is that a big deal?
Nah.
25?
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like that's just 21. we should do something really special for 21 and be like, it's our 21st episode. If you're like, why? Be like, if we were a child, we could drink legally.
That is the most important thing.
Yeah, or we should have done something for the Sweet 16 then and had like balloons. I don't even have many balloons, let alone one balloon. Man, we dropped the ball.
We fucking suck as parents.
Ugh, we're the worst. But you know what, child? Don't worry. We will get you. Oh, we could do a drunk cast for the 21st one.
Yep.
Oh, fun. Maybe over Christmas break, we'll see if we get to that point. Maybe we'll do like a drunk cast and get drunk and see what happens.
Yep.
All right. Producer's notes during shows. How great is that?
They're the best.
I loved this game from the very beginning. It seemed so huge, and as a 4-year-old, it was quite difficult to play. I remember struggling with the simplest little jumps, and I still get kind of like, I still laugh every time I play a level and I like will jump over the pit instead of trying to hit that one little block in the middle of the pit, and I'm like, oh, Mick, if only you knew how to use your thumbs properly.
Hey man, I still remember my very first accomplishment in this game was being able to beat the first level to the right. I couldn't beat the one to the left.
Yep.
But I could beat the one to the right, so I'd save up enough lives by just beating that over and over again and keeping the same Yoshi and just spawning like a bunch of lives. And then I would try to go on my own way, and as soon as I'd lose my Yoshi, I'd be like, nah, I gotta go back and get him.
Oh, that's so funny. I knew that too. We hung with this girl in college, and she at one point she's like, "Oh, I got a Super Nintendo that works. Should I come over and like drink with you guys?" And me and all my friends were like, "Oh my god, you were like the best person ever." And her sister would come hang out with us, and she could only beat the level to the left. No other level in the game could she complete. So like we would force her to play these games, and like she would get upset and like cry and leave the room. And I was like, it's just so funny. Like when your skills don't translate, like you have such a linear skill set, you're like, I can only jump now. When I see this block, I jump. I don't know when to jump elsewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, this game, man, so funny.
It's awesome.
I would play each level again and again and again and again and again and again until I got lucky or mastered it, and then it would be like a struggle to get back to a save spot and save so you could not lose all your progression.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I just saw something I have to talk about. Boom. We played this game as a family. With Tyson and myself, we would actually play it alongside with our mom, so the three of us would sit down and actually play this game together. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I think Nintendo does that really well. Like with the Wii, the last time I saw families playing video games together was the Wii, right? Like you could play tennis, you could play kart or something like that because they're so easy to pick up. When was the last time you think a family played an Xbox?
Never.
Right? Like, there must be something. Maybe like a Kinect. Maybe Xbox should, but like PlayStation 4 has nothing. Right?
I would say maybe the Just Dance stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like Just Dance with the Kinect, or I know
maybe the music games.
The PlayStation Move. You could get the baseball games where you can set it up, and it's like you can do home run derbies, and that's pretty easy. But at the same time, they did that with Wii Sports. So,
yeah.
Like Nintendo does the family really well, and that's kind of neat because video games are kind of, I don't know, I don't want to insult anyone, but they're more aimed for the hardcore gamers, and they don't play as in groups. Whereas Nintendo always tries to incorporate everyone else, and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
And this was one of the first examples. Like, as a family, we sat down and we're like, we're gonna play this game. Dad was even so excited. His friend had it, and he was a little bit older and played video games, and like he'd come over and like show us secrets and stuff like that. And you're like, you guys are old and you know these secrets. You're so wise. I can't wait to be old like you and play video games. This game also was a hot topic on the playground. Like, I don't know if you remember the playground back in the day, like back in 91, 92, you would find out a lot of secrets, and people would be telling you stuff like, did you know about this level? If you go down the blue pipe, you can find this blue shell that takes you to this key, and you're like, get the fuck out of here. We're playing hopscotch over here, and you're telling me about keys? Ma! Ma, we gotta go home! I found a key!
Can you write that down?
Yeah, can you write this down? Oh, God. I got some chalk. I'm going to write this down, and maybe I'll see if I can see it out my window when I go home.
Yeah.
I remember playing this game at friend's house probably till I was like 10 or 12. That's like 9 years that you would just play these games because they weren't coming out all the time. They did a good job making them. What a novel concept, you know? And we kept...
Took their time.
I kept finding secrets. Like, I keep learning stuff about this game till this day. It's so crazy. I mean, I guess I should...
So do I.
I should probably thank the pre-internet world.
Yeah.
And they weren't hard stuff. Like, in Super Mario Brothers 3, to get the coin chip to spawn, you had to finish a level like with like a certain number of coins, and the coins had to match like the last level of your number of your score, and also had to match like the number of like the time it took you to beat that level or something. And that's really complicated. Whereas this was, if you jump here or like go in this pipe, I actually just was playing it today and found this part where like you first get the cape, and it's the tutorial for the cape, so it kind of teaches you, here's this big row of coins in the air. If you can fly through them, you get a lot of coins. If you can't, there's like these little columns of coins on the bottom, and I was running through that and I was like, I remember being here as a kid and like collecting every coin and being like, I did it. I finally figured out how to master this room. I got all the coins.
Yeah.
Not even like grasping what was going on with this leaf, the cape. Ooh. I fell out of love with this game when our cartridge broke and it stopped saving, as well as I kind of had a falling out with our Super Nintendo at some point. I think we had the N64, and then we went all out and we got a PlayStation 2 and an Xbox and a GameCube, and we just had so much going on that I kind of lost my love affair with the Super Nintendo. It's back, don't worry, baby. I kind of forgot about this game until I found ROM hacks on YouTube in 2006, and oh man, I spent a lot of time watching people play like Kaizo Mario. One more note.
Should we probably explain what Kaizo Mario is?
Uno more note, and then we will talk of that before we talk about this game. When I got that controller for Xmas from you, I put an emulator on my PC in college and started rocking this game again. I haven't stopped since. I own it on the Wii and Wii U. Magnifique. Kaizo Mario. What and ROM hacks. What happened there?
Yeah, basically, isn't it? People took kind of the source code for this game and then kind of cracked into it, made it their own. So they kind of took the actual assets that these games were, the assets from these games, and they cut them, pasted them into their own kind of unique interpretations, and some of them are just horrific monsters and things where like as soon as you jump over that pit where you have to like, it's a really far pit and you have to jump into it.
Yep.
It's that good angle that you want to take, there's a block right there and it's going to knock your head, so you have to take a different angle.
Yeah, it was kind of Mario Maker before Mario Maker was a thing. There was an internet community that early 2000s would get together, and there was actually another one called like Mario RPG Maker. So that Ghost or that Luigi, like Haunted Luigi Mansion game that I think, were we talking about that? Somebody on YouTube was playing it. I thought maybe we brought it up. Anyways, there's like this RPG Maker where people would go online and take all these assets from games and for like Super Nintendo games and compile them and make their own games. And it's so cool. There was such a cool little community of people that would make ROM hacks. There would be like the Christmas themed levels and the pumpkin themed levels. And some of them were good. There was this one called Brutal Mario, and it took assets from an assortment of Super Nintendo games and it amalgamated it into this one like playable game. Like there'd be one where you'd have a Yoshi and there'd be all these dolphins jumping around, and he'd be like, "I'm hungry," and the point of the game was you had to eat 100 dolphins with Yoshi. And that was it. But like, and it was just every level was a little bit unique, and it was cool. And there was bosses from different, like you had to fight I forget the name. One of the bosses from Chrono Trigger was actually in that game, and you had the Mammoth Machine, and you had to actually fight the Mammoth Machine as Mario. It's really fun.
It's crazy to think that somebody spent all that time of their own
Yeah.
cutting and pasting assets out from other games and basically putting it all together, putting up online under an alias for free.
You see that, man. Like you see that with like Fez, like Phil Fish and the guys that made Fez, like Polytronic. Those guys, they're one team, or like Team Meat, the guys that made Super Meat Boy. That was one guy in a room. He just put some assets together. He built a game. And I mean, those guys were successful, but for every one success story out there, there are thousands of people are failing. For that, if you like Nintendo podcasts, somebody's doing a Podtendo, like a Nintendo podcast, and they're very good at it. For every one guy that's good and successful, there's a bunch of people that are sitting at home on a Saturday night doing a podcast, right? So like you and I, we're in that same boat, dude. We're just one of these guys, and like it's passion of love. People love doing it. It's good, you know. Like maybe we get together, we both work on our own games, and we play around, and we learn different assets from each other. But hobbies, they're cool. Creating
Agreed.
art, it's awesome. Huh? That was a really positive place we just went to.
Yeah, good to go to the positive for a change.
Yeah, sometimes we just like bicker about stupid shit, but like today, good job us. You know, like oh, we're on a roll. I mean, We're only recording one podcast today. We haven't talked about other ones.
Absolutely. We meet every single week.
Yep, we sure do. We sure do. Let's go into... Oh, I guess, I don't know, do you have anything else to say before we can move on?
No, I'm good.
All right. Ready for this? We're going to listen to the Super Mario World story. After Bowser's previous defeat, Mario, Luigi, and Princess Toadstool decide to recuperate in Dinosaur Land. Meanwhile, in Dinosaur Land, the Koopa King and the Koopalings trap Yoshi and his friends in enchanted eggs, eliminating the opposition as they secretly rebuild their forces. Shortly upon their arrival, the Mario Bros. Realize that Princess Toadstool is missing. While searching, they find the Koopa Troop Army. Upon freeing the friendly Yoshi, he exclaims that the Koopas have invaded, confirming that Peach's persistent captor has indeed returned and taken the opportunity to claim the princess. The boys rally together with their new ally, Yoshi, some new power-ups, a lot of secrets to find, and they go to take on the evil King Bowser. And with that thrilling epic out of the way, let's look at some of the level notes here. Area 1, Level 1. The first place we start, Yoshi's Island. You can go left or right. Make sense?
Yep.
Left takes you to the Yellow Switch Palace. The Switch Palaces, there will be a bunch of blocks that kind of have like an outline, like there'll be like a yellow outline randomly throughout the sky. Once you get to the Switch Palace, that outline then becomes a solid block that has some type of power-up in it. So, good idea to get these, makes the game a little bit easier. If you go to the right, you follow a path which takes you to the very first castle. This castle, I just learned maybe last year, that when you're clinging onto the cage, if you hit Koopas in the head, it counts as if you're jumping on multiple enemies, and you can get 1-ups.
Really?
Yep. I was like,
son of a bitch.
Man, like I still learn, and I guess that makes sense, because if you were playing and you paid attention to the score you got every time you killed one of the Koopas that's clinging to the cage, you'd be like, oh, I'm getting more points. Like, I guess eventually you might fall into it, but typically you jump to the floor, right? And then you jump back up, so just don't hit the floor. Just stay up there, and you actually get probably 2 to 3 1-ups.
Nice.
You fight Izzy. In this guy, you get to the end level, there's a big red door, you go through it, there's this upside down triangle that's kind of rotating back and forth in lava. Wait for its tipping one way, hit Izzy in the head enough, he will fall off into the lava and die. Make sense?
Yeah.
Another thing, if you go back to this castle, you're like, oh, I can't, once the castle's done, you can't go back and play it. If you hit both shoulder buttons on the overworld screen, you can replay a castle.
Really?
Yep.
Learn something new every day.
I learned that again, like just a little while ago, and like watching, like I will sit and watch people let's play this game, and I'm like, such a basic game. Actually, I wonder if the Game Grumps play this game, because I like the Game Grumps. They're funny.
Yeah, and their intro's awesome.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. That's the best part of it. I like the what is it? The one Grumpcade. Dibba 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 Grumpcade. And I'm like, oh, that's so catchy. So, with that, yeah, I'd be interested to go back and play. Do you like Aaron and John, or do you like Aaron and the guy from Ninja Sex Party better?
I don't know.
Okay.
To be honest.
I think I like the guy from Ninja Sex Party better because he just seems like he's like really high energy and off the wall, and John is kind of a grump. like he was the grump in Game Grumps. So, oh, good. Let's talk more about YouTube. We go to the second area, the Donut Plains. This is the 2-1 is where we find the cape for the very first time. There are multiple exits here for almost every level. You will notice that there's kind of a ghost house just off to the right, and that's kind of the game's first hint that there's multiple, that there's hidden exits to this game, right?
Yeah.
If you, let's say, just take the normal path, you don't do any secrets, you get to the ghost house that's kind of on the north part of the screen, you beat it, a red dot, like a kind of like a blue dot will appear in the middle of the lake, again, prompting you to say, hey, somehow I have to be able to beat a level to get there.
Yeah.
Kind of neat. Top secret? Fun? Good?
Absolutely. I love all the little secret.
No. Not just secrets. Top secret.
Yeah. Top secret's awesome.
So top secret is with the ghost house, if you beat it a certain way, you get to this area where you always get a Yoshi, 2 fire flowers, and 2 capes.
Yeah.
So those times you're like, oh man, this level's tough. You can always go back and just kind of refill on items. That's probably why.
Health or lives.
Yeah, sorry. That's probably why they didn't have the bank of items on the overworld, because they're like, look, we're giving you these upgrades, right?
Yeah.
They're ghost houses. Yeah, we kind of talked about the ghost houses. The ghost houses there's lots of boos. Do you know what Boo's named after?
No.
Boo Radley, the musician.
Oh.
So,
well, I guess would make sense and go with all the Koopa kids.
Yeah. And I was like, really? That's so cool. I think Bowser, there was a guy from... what was the band? There was a band and there was a guy named Bowser. And I was listening to these guys and they were arguing over whether the name Bowser was just like a name they picked or it was actually named after this guy from this band. And I was like, this game, Mario, so great.
Awesome.
Make your way along through this area. You get to Castle 2. Basically, it's just a giant tower, and you fight Morton Jr. Then, we're into the Vanilla Dome. Ooh.
Which has the best music
Dun,
in the game.
dun, dun, dun. I guess I could just put music cues in this. Maybe I'll do that. I'll listen to my singing, and then I'll reassess the situation. So, you're welcome, Tyson, or screw you, Tyson.
Yeah.
This area is a bit smaller. It only has about 2 to 3 secrets, so not as many as the Donut Plains. You can take an alternate route here, and you will find our 3rd Switch Palace. I forgot to talk about the 2nd Switch Palace.
Oh, the green one?
Yeah, on the Donut Plains, in the 2nd world, you're in a cave. If you find the right one, you get the green Switch Palace. Best Switch Palace, because every green block has a cape in it. The 3rd one, it is pink. The pink doesn't give you anything, so don't worry about the pink so much.
Yeah.
The upper path, this will take you to our very first... so you kind of go to the left, you climb up, and you end up actually on the top part of the Vanilla Dome. You'll find our very first fortress here. It's underwater, and you fight the Reznors. Do you remember the Reznor boss?
Is that the bunch of...
Triceratops?
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like,
they shoot fire?
Yeah, and they're like kind of on... Yeah, it's... So there's 4 platforms. They go around in a circle like a carousel. There's Triceratopses. Hit the bottom, kill them. That's how that works. Yeah. The lower path, this is where the switch will be located and takes you to Castle 3. I remember as a kid there was this ghost house, and it was super difficult to get to. There was these giant green bubbles that would like float through the sky, and I struggled so much. I'd get to this point and just struggle. Then there was like one afternoon I beat it, and I was all by myself, and I like ran through the house looking for anyone else, and I was like, well, I guess I'll beat the next couple levels. And then there was this one underground level with this little like boat on this lava, and then there was this other level where bullet bills would shoot at me, and then all of a sudden I was at the third castle, and I was like, guys, like, no one's gonna believe this. I have to beat this level, or else you guys are gonna think I'm liars. It's one of the most unique castles. You start off on these little blocks. You have to spin jump your way down. If you spin jump at the wrong time, you just get stuck in perpetuity. Like, you can't, like, you have to continue to move, or you will hit the lava below you and kill you. Yeah. You fight who's the boss of this one? Larry. We all remember Larry from Super Mario Brothers 3, right? It's him again. Yeah. We'll just leave that as such. Okay. Ready to move on?
Absolutely.
Okay. Cheesecake Bridge. I think that's what it's called. I didn't write it down. I'm sorry.
I think it's Lemmy.
Oh, Lemmy?
Yeah.
Wait, no, Lemmy. Okay.
And Larry, yeah.
Or Larry's the last
Lemmy.
one.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right. All right, well, then I have a note later that you're going to laugh at. Cheesecake Area. This is a very short and has one of the saddest scenes in games, or in any game. The death of Yoshi. So, Cheesecake Bridge number 1. If you have a Yoshi, you can kind of float to the end of the level, and when you get to the goal, we didn't even talk about goalposts. We'll talk about that afterwards. There's these goalposts. At the other side, you see kind of a little arrow pointing to the side, and you're like, oh, that's weird. If you jump and float underneath the goalposts, you can suicide jump Yoshi, end up in this other area, and it actually takes you to this hidden beanstalk in a whole different area. Very neat. Also very hard to get to. Like, this is definitely one of the last skills I probably mastered as a kid.
Yeah.
Goalposts. What's going on with those?
When you jump into them, you get points for how high up it is on the post.
So it's like it's tape or something, right? It's kind of like a moving, I don't know, crossbar. And if you hit the crossbar, you get this. Not how high you jump. You have to be able to hit the crossbar as well. What happens if you get 100 points?
Don't you get a 1-up?
No, you actually play a mini game. So you'll go kind of into this level. You're in this room. There's one block with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks moving around, and you hit them, and they'll give you either a star, flower, or a mushroom. And based on how many different matchy patterns you have, like in a 3 in a rows, you get mushrooms based on that.
Just like the matchy patterns from Super Mario World 3.
That's it.
Super Mario 3, sorry.
Yeah. From this area, we get to Castle 4. This place, I would say, is very claustrophobic. You're in a very small hallway in the beginning, and then the next area, you're going to get squished by spikes. Make it through, and we fight Ludwig. While I was writing my notes, I forgot to talk about the little ending cutscene. So at the end of every castle, you take one of Yoshi's friends. So you take the little egg outside the castle, and typically there's like a little explode switch or something. If you hit it,
yep.
I think the very first castle just kind of explodes and crumbles to the ground. The second castle, I don't remember. The third castle, no idea. Oh, I have no idea. This castle, however, when you hit it, it takes off like a little rocket ship and flies into the background and hits one of the hills, and there's like a little like Band-Aid on it. So it's kind of funny. So they definitely get more and more obscure and definitely a bit more unrealistic, I guess, if you wanted to call it that, because this is, because we're gonna nitpick the realism of this game. So that's definitely fun though. And then the outer the what's it called? Overworld. Overworld will actually change, and the hill will move into the background, and it comes back up, and it's got the little Band-Aid on it. And we can move on to the Forest of Illusion. This place is a maze, plain and simple. Every level here has 2 exits, so don't miss any. Go in and get every single exit. Even if the exit already gets you somewhere you've been, make sure you clear it. If you want to beat the game 100%, that is. This is where you can find the 4th switch, and it's the final exit is quite hard to find. So it will send you around in this giant circle, this giant maze. Towards one of the last, like the most south level you can go to, I think it's a pipe you have to go to, but you also have to be big, so you can spin jump through some blocks, find a key, put it in the keyhole, and that'll take you to Castle 5.
Yep.
Did you ever get past, did we ever get past the Forest of Illusion as kids?
I don't remember. Well, I think we did once, but I don't remember doing it. Like, I wasn't there for when we beat Forest of Illusion, and I want to say probably not what's the rocky one?
Chocolate Island.
Chocolate Island.
Yeah.
I feel like I skipped a lot of Chocolate Island and how we got there.
Okay, that's fair. I remember being in the Forest Illusion forever and just like that. I'm just gonna put the music here. I can't sing the song. Actually, no, screw that. I'm not gonna do that. That's too much work. Don't worry about it. Yeah, so this one, I remember being here as a kid because it is very confusing. I mean, it makes sense now that I know the exit, but without the internet, you have to figure this stuff out on your own, you know? Like, I take for granted the fact that I'm like, how do you do this? Oh, here's my phone. Boop. Oh, yeah, of course. Versus back in the day, you had to figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
Also,
trial and error.
Also, self-imposed video game challenges. We've talked about them in the past. I have a good one for this one. So, I decided, hey, isn't this fun? I'm going to play the whole game without any power-ups.
Oh my god.
So, you know, one hit, you're dead. You can't hit if I did get a power-up, I died instantly. I couldn't hit the midway strip in any level. It's because it would give you a super mushroom. It would make you big. So I'm really handicapping myself. Played through this whole game until the Forest of Illusion. There were some parts I struggled. I got really upset. I get to the end of the Forest of Illusion. Guess what I can't get?
The key.
I can't get the key to get to Castle 5 because you need to be big to spin jump. There is no way of getting to a star without using a power-up. Oh, yeah, because even in the Vanilla Dome, you can get to the Star Road through a secret, but you need to fly to get there.
Oh, brutal.
It's just the game ends, so you do have to use power-ups. So I guess the one flaw I would say with this game is, I mean, could I just simply get a power-up, get the key, move on to Castle 5? I could. But if you're being a purist and you're really, really being finicky, you can't beat the game without using power-ups.
That sucks.
Yep. So that was an hour of my time wasted. Game. Castle 5. This castle introduces the use of snake that block snakes, and the boss was Roy. Onwards to Chocolate Island. This area is pretty straightforward. It does have some of the most difficult secrets in the game to figure out. In one of the levels, you have to run all the way through the first section as fast as possible. Then you come to an exit that bypasses the whole island and takes you to this little hidden route on the Valley of Bowser. I don't know how you'd figure that out. And literally run, jump. Don't collect a coin. Don't kill any enemies. Don't waste killing that guy. Try and get to that pipe as quickly as possible, or you won't get that secret. I don't understand how you'd figure that one out.
Yeah, that one's fucked.
It's very, very difficult. I mean, I guess maybe if you played it enough, you might fluke into it. But to have the foresight to say, why am I over at this pipe now? You may not be able to tell your friends that. So, Castle 6. This is super easy compared to what we just went through, and the boss was Wendy. I guess this would be a good time to talk about the different boss battles. So the first boss I was saying kind of is on the upside down triangle. Morton and Roy kind of run up the walls and try and drop down on you.
Yep.
Ludwig kind of spins around the rope. He's the most unique. He'll stop, spin jump up. You hit him in the head and then he kind of spins around again. Wendy and Lemmy play hide and seek in pipes. So they kind of pop out of a pipe. There's two dummies. You got to hit the real one in the head 3 times. You win. Make sense?
Makes sense.
To the sunken ghost ship. From here, it looks surprisingly like the ghost ship from Mario 3, which is really neat. At the end of the level, you always hit goalposts, right?
Yep.
At the end of this level, there's a little green circle with a question block on it, or a question mark on it. Where else have you seen that question mark? You see it when you beat Boom Boom in Super Mario Bros. 3.
Oh.
In no other point in Super Mario World do you see that. So again, it's one of those, this is a direct link between Super Mario World and Super Mario Bros. 3. Kind of neat.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Once you hit that, Bowser's face rises out from this circle in the middle of the kind of the bay, and you enter the Valley of Bowser.
The scariest part of the game.
Mm-hmm. I like finding the secrets in this area. They are appropriate in difficulty. There is a back exit to the castle, which may be worth finding, and is kind of hard to figure out. In one of the levels, you have to like jump up on a wall that doesn't look like you should be able to get there, and like run across and find a key switch. And then there's probably the toughest fortress, but if you do that, you bypass a lot of the level. But if you go through normally, fairly simple. There's in Castle 7, there's another block snake. You fight Larry. I wrote this fun little thing. Did I name all the Koopa kids off the top of my head? Man, I'm smart. I didn't. I screwed up. Damn it.
You almost
Damn
did.
it.
Almost.
Stupid Lemmy. I knew it was Larry, though. So what I should have done is read through it and said, oh, no, I have Larry in 3 and 7. Obviously, one of them's wrong. So, my bad.
It's all good.
We're now at Bowser's Castle. You have to pick one of 4 doors. Each of them has like a different theme. Complete that door. Gives you another set, so you get 5 through 8. Pick another one of those doors. Get through there, and you're in kind of this like dark, eerie place with little ninjas. The only time they appear in this game, is that right?
I think so.
Okay. And yeah, and they were also enemies that were Shy Guys in this game. I don't know. I thought we must have saw them in some other game other than Super Mario Brothers 2. So
yeah.
But regardless, we're off to fight Bowser, the main bad guy. Are you excited for this?
Yes.
His boss.
That's what we've been waiting for.
His boss is very cool. Did I throw that here? Oh yeah, fun fact. First time I saw him, I cried.
It is true.
He throws out little Mecha Koopas, which are like little, I don't know what they are, just mechanical enemies that you jump on. They kind of flatten, you throw them up in the air, hit Bowser in the head 6 times, he would die. You save Princess. Yeah. Hooray. The end credits run for this amazing game. They highlight all the enemies, and at some point you're going to be looking at it and say, Torpedo Ted? Who the hell is Torpedo Ted? He appears in one level, that really hard one to find back on the Cheese Bridge. If you, like, when you get there and you're like, oh, okay. I didn't see Torpedo Ted till I was, like, 20.
Yeah.
Secret routes. Quickly talk about secret routes a little bit. As we alluded to, we did mention Star Road quickly. Littered throughout the land, there are 5 warps to what's called Star Road. Each level in Star Road has 2 exits. One is pretty linear. One is like involves some type of secret. If you complete all of them, as well as the 5th area's secret level, you go to the super secret area. What's it called?
Special.
Fuck, I should have known that. God damn it. Anyways, yes, so you go to Special. There are 8 extremely difficult levels in the American version. They're called, what are they? They're called like Tubular and Rad and Gnarly.
Way cool, awesome, groovy.
Apparently in the Japanese release of the game, they were called like, man, not even the creators of this game could beat it, or something like that, or like, oh, Brian came up with this. He's sick. Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's so fun.
That's way better.
Mm-hmm. But I just don't think it would have translated well. They'd have been like, who the fuck is this stupid... I don't understand who this guy is. Like, who's this?
Yeah.
Who's Brian?
Exactly.
Who's Brian? If you complete all 8 of these levels, you come to the final star, and it gets you to the New Game Plus mode? Is that what you want to call this?
I guess so.
So all the colors are different, and all the Koopas wear Mario masks.
Yeah.
Now, as a kid, like, I knew a couple guys that unlocked this on their own. Like, they were big deals. Like, I remember, like, looking at it being like, holy shit. Like, dude, you are something special. So, keep that in mind. Take that for what it's worth. Now, and sorry, you can actually beat this game in 12 stages if you know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Kind of neat, right?
Yeah.
I showed you that one time when we came over, we were drinking one night playing, and I was like, I could beat this game in like 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit.
You started a brand new fresh one. It's like, didn't realize you could just skip everything after the second castle.
Mm-hmm. This is like brand new. Somebody just did this. If you're really skilled, you can beat this game in under 4 minutes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's one of those weird... There's about 98 steps that you have to do. So like you go to the very first level, that one that you used to get your Yoshi from. You would pick up the turtle shell, kick it in the air, and as it came down, you would kick it forward. You then ran ahead and you'd grab Yoshi. Spin jump off of Yoshi, grab the next turtle shell, kill the Koopa, put it on this exact block, grab Yoshi, run over, put the screen back it's like steps like this. But what you do is you load the ROM in such a weird way that it thinks the game's over. And in about 4 minutes, if you do it right, it's really hard to do without save states. Somebody actually did it live, like on somebody was watching them, so like they have the record. If you do it correctly, it just cues the credits and you watch the second half of the credits. Yeah.
It's kind of like that Pokemon glitch where you can beat in Pokemon in like less than a minute.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, because it like bypasses a bunch of things. It's just basically understanding how these old cards work and looking at how the ROM stores and which files save where. It's kind of fun. So I think I did an okay job of explaining that. Good job. And you contributed with Pokemon?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, we're rocking and rolling. Current thoughts? I love this game. I wanted to put together like a super 12-part series to celebrate this game. I just didn't have the time, but I think we probably did an okay job.
I think so. Like, and it's hard to discuss platformers at length without like literally making this a 12-hour podcast, like you said.
Well, I mean, like normally we go through, and I think one of our only criticisms is how much we talk about the levels. Like we do summarize things poorly at times. So the fact someone's listening to this, I'm like, dude, you guys literally talk about everything. I don't know. Like, you talk about every single enemy, you talk about this, and like, blah, blah, blah. Versus this one, I think had a bit more flow. But I think it's good. A lot of video game podcasts bug me because I listen to them, and they just talk about like these bigger parts, and I'm like, how come you don't talk about the game? Because we actually
the nitty-gritty.
We play the games and then we talk about them, you know?
Yep.
I mean, platformers are easy because you say this is a forest level and there's forest stages. I don't need to tell you that. Like, then in this level there's a Wiggler. Make sure to jump over him, but watch out for that Koopa that's right behind him. He's a little Scheisler.
Yeah.
So I did say though, if anybody ever wanted to talk about this game again or wanted us, like, I have no problem coming back and saying, hey, let's retalk. Let's look at Super Mario. Do you have any new stuff to talk about? I would love to do that.
Revisited.
Yeah.
Yep.
Other than that, unless you have something, let's just keep moving right on to Are You Buying It?
For sure.
All right. Super Mario Brothers is another version of The Legend of Zelda. In this theory, it states, in Mario 3, there is an overworld map. Each level acts as a dungeon for our heroes. Mario is Link, Peach is Zelda, Bowser is Ganon. The setting, the Mushroom Kingdom, is Hyrule. The 8 worlds represent the 8 temples in The Legend of Zelda. They both have various themes that connect them, including Water World in Mario and a Water Temple in Zelda. I hate it.
I don't know.
I hate it. I was just looking and I like wrote it down online how I saw it, and I was like, I don't know, maybe if it sparks our interest, but yeah, I don't really like this one. So
yeah, that one's not a great one.
Yeah. I don't like it either. But speaking of Zelda, I have one in mind that I'm going to start trying to test and figure out the math on. And then I'm coming for you, Pat. I will be the new theorist on the internet.
Nice.
Ready for this? Picture this. Water Temple, Legend of Zelda. You go up to the top of the water and you play the do whatever that song is that you play. I don't know. And then you watch a cutscene where the water starts draining out of that temple at a pretty significant rate. I want to know just how quick that water drains out of that temple. Like, in comparison, how much water in theory is in that room? So if you could kind of do the calculations, and how quickly does it have to drain and fill, and just kind of what real life comparisons would be.
Fair enough.
Because I'm thinking, like, you could be like, it's like 27 Niagara Falls, and you're like, Jesus fucking shit.
That's a shit ton of water.
Yeah, like, water displacement is not, like, fill up your bathtub. How long does it take for it to empty? Think about it.
Yeah.
right?
Where's that water going?
Like, unless of course you literally just pulled the floor out from the bottom of your pool, like your hot tub, your bathtub, and it just went. That's the only way you get that 1-to-1 water displacement ratio. So that means literally the floor of the water temple like opens up and then closes, and then it's like pressurized so that it opens up and it's scary stuff. Like Link should be more careful. He could hurt himself.
Absolutely. You can end up like really physically hurt.
Speaking of Pat, Princess Peach is the main antagonist of the Super Mario series. We never see Bowser's side of the story. Princess Peach invades the land, uses mind control parasites to take over the kingdom. The Goombas go to Bowser for help. He amasses his army of turtles to march to the land to save them. He kidnaps Princess and says, "Please turn everyone back." Our poor hapless Mario stumbles into this adventure and attacks the poor defending Bowser, only to rescue the villain of Peach. Are you buying it?
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally stole that from Game Theory, so if you want to watch the video, check out Game Theory, something like Peach is Evil or something.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, let's watch that. It's good. It's a good time.
Cool.
And it's not... So, first one, bullshit. Second one, the water displacement, I think, is just going to be upsetting. And the third one, we're both buying it. Good. Did we miss anything?
I would probably.
Oh.
There's always more to talk about on this game. I learned things that I didn't even know about this game.
Oh, well, yeah, but like, do you know that little green block with the star on it? If you collect a certain number of coins in that level and you hit it, you get a 1-up. Or something. Oh, something cool. But I don't know what number it is. So that would be something to look into. Like, that's something for me to learn too, or look into, so...
Did we also talk about all the different colored Yoshis and their powers?
Oh, fuck, we missed that. Shit. So, Yoshi eats... So, first off, let's start... green Yoshi, kind of the standard. There's a couple different types of turtle shells. If he eats a red shell, he spits fire. Yellow, he stomps. Blue, he flies. And... what's the other one? Oh,
Green does nothing.
Green does nothing. And then, like, the rainbow-colored ones kind of gives him everything. And what do the different colored Yoshis do?
So basically, the yellow one stomps with any shell.
Yep.
The blue one flies with any shell. The red one spits fire with any shell, and that's it.
Yeah.
But still pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm. No, it's definitely very... it's very cool, so...
Blue Yoshi basically became our favorite when we were kids because we're just like, flying's the best.
Definitely.
Nothing beats
Yeah,
flying.
it helps definitely, like, break the game. It's... So... But no, it's... excellent. Yeah, like other than that, I think we covered most things. Again, it's such an intricate game. Like we didn't talk about all the enemies. The charging chucks or the wigglers or Torpedo Ted was mentioned actually. We're probably the first podcast to ever talk about Torpedo Ted. So.
And the Res.
Oh yeah, the Resnors. That's right.
Resnors.
So, there you go. It's a lot to cover. I think we're good. The month of Mario, one in the books.
Yeah.
I think.
Wow.
It was good. Any inkling on what's going on for December? I'm thinking we do maybe a newer game. Maybe look at a newer title. Maybe we look at maybe there's like a plug and play series we could kind of retouch on. Maybe we should go back to our NES roots, play those a little bit.
I think that's enough hints for our listeners.
Hey, if you're listening to this chronologically, yeah. But I mean, like I said, when you find this in 3 years and you're listening through it, you probably can read and you know what's coming up next. So, there you go. Alrighty. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Tyson, you have to say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening. The Podtendo podcast was produced by Mick Rutschman. You can contact Podtendo on Twitter at Podtendo Podcast, email us at podtendo@gmail.com, or check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/podtendo. The music of Podtendo was used without permission and is property of Nintendo.